When people heard Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, they argued about boxing, but the real fight was not in the ring. It was for attention. This was an algorithm war. Netflix reach, creative virality, search spikes, short form clips. AJ just didn't want to win a bout. He wanted to hack visibility. How Anthony Joshua used Jake Paul to break the internet. So if someone says Anthony Joshua broke the internet by fighting Jake Paul, they think it's just hype, but it's not hype, it's actually practical. To understand it, you have to understand one thing. Being in the algorithm matters more than ever when it comes to business and entertainment. If you're not in the algorithm, you don't exist to casual fans. And in 2025, casual fans are the biggest market, not because they know boxing, but because there are so many of them. It's a numbers game. So when AJ fought Jake Paul, he didn't just fight a man, he plugged himself into the digital universe that behaves completely different to boxing. Let's adjust this properly within its appropriate context. So let's start with Netflix. This wasn't a normal platform. Netflix is a global discovery machine with hundreds of millions of subscribers. That doesn't mean everyone watched, but it means the fight had frictionless access. No pay-per-view barrier, no find the channel, no hardcore only gatekeeping. Netflix can put a fight in front of people who weren't even looking for boxing. And that's what I would call a distribution upgrade. Now the second point is Jake Paul's audience. And Jake Paul's audience is not no normal audience. Jake Paul has around 50 million followers across all platforms. And the key isn't just a number, it's the behavior. Because creator audiences, they don't just watch the content, they spread it, they clip it, they remix it, they react to it, they argue about it, they meme it, they turn it into moments, and those moments turned into trends. And now let's add AJ. Anthony Joshua has about 22 million followers or 24 million. So now you've got a combined social universe of, let's say, roughly 72 million. And that's hard to visualize. It's hard to visualize, but let's try and visualize it. The UK population is around 68 million. So in follower terms, you're talking about a reach bigger than the whole of the UK engaged. Now, Wembley holds about 90,000. So that 72 million is like filling Wembley 800 times. That's not boxing reach, that's actual mainstream scale. And scale like that creates a shock in the digital universe, a moment big enough that the algorithm has to respond, and it will respond accordingly. Now let's talk about algorithm practically. A crossover mega event creates 3 boosts at the same time. What do I mean by this? Well, number one, you have the Google search lift. So people don't just search Anthony Joshua. They're not just searching Anthony Joshua. They're searching Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul. They're searching Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. They're searching AJ knockout. They're searching Jake Paul reaction. Is AJ fighting Fury next? Etc., etc., etc. That spike matters. Why? Because search engines build associations. When enough people search 2 names together, those names become linked. One audience starts bumping into another. So that's number one. And number 2 is the short form dominance. When we talk about the short form dominance, we've got YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok. These platforms, they reward attention. They don't care about purity. They care about watch time, replays, comments, shares, and controversy. So I find like this creates instant division. Casuals say, no way. Boxing fans say AJ destroys him. Jake Paul fans say you're underestimating him. The division, it fuels the engagement, and engagement fuels distribution. And then there's number 3, which is what we would call media amplification. Remember, media is digital now. Articles become tweets, tweets become clips, clips become podcast segments, push notifications drag in more casuals, so it's feeding the machine, so you get an extra layer of the distribution from official sources, and it feeds back into the algorithm again and again and again and again. Each piece is big on its own. Netflix is big, Paul's audience is big, AJ's audience is big, search is big, short form is big, media is big, everything is just big, 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 big. But combined, you don't just add them together, you multiply them. And that's how AJ becomes unavoidable for a period of time. And once a name starts to trend, it leaves residue. The next interview gets more clicks. The next training clip gets even more recommendations. Even the old highlight reels get revived. Your baseline rises. And that's where long-term money comes from. Because this is about long-term money. So here's the business point. This kind of attention is leverage for sponsorships, partnerships, and of course the next big fight. Because boxing is not just about boxing, unfortunately. It's business, and business is about how many eyeballs can you bring? How many people are watching? How much attention do you have? In the old days, it was tickets and pay-per-view. Now it's followers, search demand, viral potential, global reach, younger audiences, and brands that want mainstream visibility. So key. So AJ's team can say, we don't just bring boxing money. We don't just bring boxing money. We bring non-boxing money. We bring the younger audience. We bring the algorithm. We bring the algorithm momentum. So we're bringing all this to the table. And that leads to the Tyson Fury point. This fight, or the momentum of this fight, the search track of this fight, affects the Tyson Fury negotiations because AJ has tapped into the non-boxing audiences, global distribution, and what we call the creator economy. So when it comes to splits, AJ's argument becomes sharper. He brings more eyeballs to the table right now. He brings more younger fans. He brings in global sponsors and brings in more attention. Attention is money. Of course, Fury's team will argue their case with the counter-argument. But AJ has changed the nature of the conversation because he's not just a boxer chasing a fight. He's a business asset with absolute digital gravity. And in modern boxing, digital gravity matters because attention, what is attention? Attention is currency, and the algorithm, that's like the marketplace. So no, AJ just didn't fight Jake Paul. He used Jake Paul to implant himself deeper into the algorithm. And once you're deeper in the algorithm, you don't need people to look at you, or you don't need people to look for you. The algorithm, it finds them for you. And that is how you break the internet.